He died when he was nearly 88 years old. So here he is 4 years before he died, and you can see that he's looking very well for an old man, and he's got a good colour in his cheeks and everything. He was a very healthy man because he put that down to the fact that he spent most of his time in the open air. Mm-hmm. And also during the first years and many years of his ministry, which went on for 50 years, he travelled over Great Britain every year for 50 years. He was riding, for many of those years, he was on horseback, which keeps you very fit. So he did really well. This clock here was made here in London by a French clockmaker, and his granddaughter was the person who gave this to John, or bequeathed it to John in her will. And if you have a look, it's actually on time, still working. And the bit at the top there is the cycles of the moon, and for many, many years it wasn't working, but just recently it started to move, and we don't know why or how, but it's a very valuable clock. Now, John Wesley could have been a millionaire in today's terms, but he didn't do that. All the money that he made out of his books and things that he published, he ploughed back into the work of spreading the message. Behind you, you'll see some books. There's many more books in this house. I don't know about you, but I've got books in my house which I'm never going to read. But you can be sure that John Wesley read every single one of these books. In many ways, he was very modern in the sense that he believed in life learning. He was constantly studying all through his life. And even when he was on horseback, he was reading a book as he went from town to town. And later on, he did use a carriage, but in the carriage, he had a bookshelf full of books that he was reading. And one of the things that he used to do was he used to kind of do a précis or a summary of some special books that he thought were important, and he had them published, and he gave them to his other preachers. It was like to train them. He released something like over 300 other men to be preachers out of his own ministry. If you look at that second row from the top, that's how books basically were originally produced in those days. They're like paperbacks actually, but if you honestly wanted to keep those books, you could have them bound in leather, or you could buy them also straight away in leather, but that was a cheaper way to buy books.
That was the pen he used?
Not really, I don't think so. But I can show you one of his letters. This is one of John Wesley's letters. This is a facsimile. That is his writing, that is his...
This was his original letter?
Yeah,
oh.
That's his signature there. Okay. They had really quite a good postal service in those days. Basically what they did was they were able to send letters out. They had post boys like this who went from post to post with the letters, and this is another example of a letter. This is how they did their letters. And this is John Wesley's seal, and they would seal the wax there. Again, this is a facsimile. And the very interesting thing is that the person who received the letter was the person who paid for the letter.
Wow.
And the reason for that was sometimes these boys were a bit lazy. So it guaranteed that they would deliver the letter because they wouldn't get paid otherwise, which was very clever. It was only in Queen Victoria's time when they started the penny post that changed.
And what is that device?
Okay, that there is what is called an electroconvulsive therapy machine. I believe that Benjamin Franklin had one of these, and you turn the handle, that produces static electricity, and then if you had a pain in your arm, you put it against that, or your head against that, and apparently it was very useful for quite a lot of different situations. And like I said, John was very concerned about the whole man, and so he had 4 of these machines in different parts of London, which people could use for free. Oh yes, there's one more thing in this room. This chair here.
This was the chair, original chair of
Yeah. So originally this chair belonged to a bookmaker, a bookie, who would take bets for cockfighting. So the idea was which cock is going to die. And so people could make or lose lots of money on this. And so the bookmaker who owned that chair was converted under John Wesley's ministry, and so he stopped being a bookmaker, and he gave this chair to John, who used it as a study chair. You can sit either way on it, sit this way or that way. You can use it as a prayer chair or as a writing desk. There you go, that's what that is all about. So I think that explains everything in this room. Yes, I think we've done everything. Okay, shall we go into John Wesley's bedroom now?
And this is John Wesley's bedroom. We entered it.
So this is the room actually in which John Wesley died.
Oh, this is the room in which he died.
Yes.
And this was the bed?
No, the bed is not original.
Okay.
It's a reproduction, but it would possibly have been something like this. There is a possibility that John didn't actually die here, but he died in here. If you'd like to come in here, this is his prayer room, and there is some talk of the fact that he might have died in a chair in this room, which in many ways could have been quite appropriate, because every morning at 4 a.m. he would be up and he would be in this room and he would be reading his Bible and he would be praying.
This was his Bible?
No, it's not. It's from Queen Victoria's time. But this is original, this is original. And so 5 a.m., so 4 a.m. to 5 a.m. he would be in here. And then everybody in the house would go over to the chapel at 5 a.m. for the first service. Okay, and like I said, that's when John was here. When he wasn't here, there would be another minister in charge of the chapel, who would also be staying here. So this furniture here is all original.
Oh, this is original?
Yeah, that's original, yeah. And here we have a picture of John Wesley's father, Samuel Wesley, who was also a Church of England vicar. And this is John Wesley's grandfather, who was not a vicar, he was a Puritan. And here you have John Wesley's mother, whose name was Susanna.
Susan.
Yeah. This picture here of John Fletcher,
John Fletcher. Okay.
you know, John Wesley, John Fletcher was known as the most saintly Methodist. He was and John Wesley really wanted John Fletcher to take over when he died. But actually John Fletcher died before John Wesley, so that never happened. But John Fletcher was a Church of England vicar as well, as John and Charles were. They remained Church of England Anglicans till the day they died. Okay, any questions? Feel free. Okay. We'll go up to the next floor then.
Next floor. What is this floor?
This floor is for the preachers.
Oh, this is for preachers.
Yes, that's a picture of Samuel Wesley. Let me just show you a picture of him when he was an adult. So Samuel Wesley. So this is Charles Wesley's family. That's Sarah, his wife, and then also Sarah, his daughter. And this is Samuel. This is Samuel when he was young. Both these boys were brilliantly clever musicians. And as young men like this, you can see he's writing music, they would give concerts to important people. And they were really, the bee's knees. Here's some of the hymns that Charles Wesley wrote. Hark the Herald Angels Sing, which we sing at Christmas.
Yeah, famous. It's a famous hymn.
Love Divine, All Love's Excelling, many famous hymns, which are still being sung today.
Yeah.
So this floor here is what is known as the preacher's floor. And if you look at the floor itself, this, as far as we know, is original. The one in John Wesley's floor was replaced, but this is original.
This is preacher's room.
The preacher's room, yes.
What they used to do here?
Well, they used to have their times together in the evening.
Spend in prayer.
Yes, that sort of thing. If necessary, people could sleep in here as well. There were 1 or 2 bedrooms upstairs where there could be preachers, and also the housekeeper lived on the next floor.
What's that box?
That is a typical chest for travelling in the 1700s.
Heavy.
Yeah, very heavy.
And this is also original chair.
Yeah, this actually came from John Fletcher's house.
Oh.
So this is actually, you saw the picture in there, John Fletcher's chair.
And what's this original shelf?
This belonged to John Wesley. It's called a tall boy,
Tall boy.
which they keep the linen in, bedclothes and things like that. No. Over here, you've got a cemetery, which is very famous, and it's got some very famous people in it. I can find a picture of that. Yeah, there we go. So this is actually a non-conformist cemetery. So anybody who didn't belong to the Church of England was a non-conformist. They weren't conformed. And if you didn't belong to the Church of England, you could not be buried in the Church of England graveyard. So all the non-conformists had to find a place to be buried, and there are thousands of people buried here actually. And it says that around 123,000 burials in here, dating from 1660s, and you've got people like descendants of Oliver Cromwell in there. You've got John Bunyan, who wrote Pilgrim's Progress, William Blake, Daniel Defoe, Isaac Watts, who wrote many hymns as well, and Susanna Wesley, who was the mother of John.
So this is Bun Hill Fields cemetery.
Sorry?
This is Bun Hill Fields.
That's right, yes, yeah. So you can go in there, but you can't get very close. If you see those daffodils over there, that's somewhere near there is where Susanna Wesley is buried, but it's all fenced off. But you can see John Bunyan's tomb and also William Blake's. Okay, so that's, I think, most of the things in here. More books, of course. Another thing about these books is that John Wesley would write his own thoughts in the books, his own notes and whatever. So actually, all of these books in themselves are historical documents, which is really something. Okay, let's go to this bedroom here.
Oh, this is the bedroom of John Wesley.
This is the one downstairs is John Wesley's bedroom. This bedroom is the preacher's bedroom. So the main preacher, when John wasn't here, and visiting preachers could use this room. And again, this is all original furniture. This is an interesting chair here. It is now a rocking chair, but originally it was just a chair. And apparently John Wesley stood on this chair to preach to a group, to a crowd of people in Yorkshire. So that's quite interesting. And also here, you've got what the housekeeper would have looked like. And obviously over the years there were different housekeepers, but she would live upstairs with her family. Okay. You know what this is, of course? A bed warmer.
Yeah.
Oh, what's this?
So you put coal from in here, in here, and then you would, just before people got into bed, we're just going to go down to the kitchen.
Right, about 10 minutes?
Yeah?
Because there's someone else waiting apparently. Ketchy wants to know.
Okay, right, thank you. And so they would get the damp off and the cold off before you got into bed. Okay.
So here it ends, right? Here it ends.
Sorry?
So here it ends.
No, we're going to go into the kitchen now, right downstairs. Okay? You just keep going down.
This is reading
Okay,
room.
go to the kitchen first, yeah. So this is obviously where the food was prepared The servants would eat their meals in here, and this furniture is either original or has been here for many years. In here you have the scullery where they did the washing, and also outside in the little courtyard there used to be a well, which is where they got their water from. It isn't there anymore.
So that's iron box, the small one.
That is for doing the washing,
Oh.
washing the clothes and things like that. And if you like to come in here, this is known as a chamber horse. There was one up in the dining room, and if you want to try it out, it's an exercise chair,
Oh wow. Oh, exercise. Oh.
and John Wesley obviously wants to keep fit. They were quite popular in those days. They were King George III's children had one to bounce up and down on. Jane Austen mentions this type of thing. And John Wesley donated his one to his niece, the daughter of Charles, Sarah, and said to her, "You must use this and spend half an hour a day on it."
Wow.
Right, so everything in this cabinet here belongs to John. There's his little travelling desk there.
What's this?
Yeah, this is a little travelling desk. His umbrella. Also, his little travelling chest. Obviously, when he was travelling by horse, he couldn't take a lot of stuff with him. So it would just be his night shirt and a few bits and pieces. Communion set. And this actually is a house coat. This is not an outdoor coat, it's a house coat. And gentlemen in those days, I remember John was here in the winter, gentlemen would wear all of their other clothes. It didn't matter, it dragged on the floor either. John was about this tall, which was typical. So that would be to keep them warm in the house. Over here you've got the Wesley baptism gown, which the babies were baptised in. That belonged to no doubt John and Charles were actually baptised in that as babies. Okay.
That's a musical instrument. This one.
Yeah, it's just an oboe, which was used.
It's an
which was used by John.
18th century oboe.
John, a friend of John Wesley.
So this is the last room.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's it. We have seen John Wesley's house, every room where he lived, and we have seen the guide explained every corner of John Wesley's house. And this is the fireplace. You can see, but these are not original. These are not original woods of fire, just modernized. They are bulbs.
Right.
Well, thank you so much for the great tour.
Pleasure.
It's very interesting.
So there are more things to see. It's the museum, the chapel as well.
Yeah.
If you're interested.
Thank you.
All right.
Have a good day.
Have a good day.
Yeah. Don't forget to get.
Thank you,
get
sir. Thank you. for
I'll
your
take you
explanation.
down to the
Okay.
to pay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Please. Thank you.